Good evening and welcome to our Planning and Highways Committee on the 18th of November. Thank you to all members of the public, councillors and officers who are joining us for today's meeting. Councillors and officers are reminded of their commitment to the Civility and Respect Pledge and be mindful of this during tonight's meeting. Please be aware that the Council is video recording this meeting and this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. I'd like to highlight some key points of the meeting format. Please can I ask everyone to have their phones turned off or set to silent. The fire exits are via the doors out the chambers and down the external fire escape stairs or via the main entrance that you entered the building through. In the event of a fire, the lift should not be used. The assembly point is to the outside of the Royal Mail Parcel Office on West Street. Please remain seated unless you are invited to speak or need to take a comfort break. The toilet facilities are out in the corridor you entered through. Members of the public are invited to participate in the meeting with the key points as follows. Public participation is limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person and must be related to an item on business on the agenda. As chair, I will interject if needed to enforce this. For those looking to speak specifically about a planning or tree works application on the agenda, you will be invited to speak immediately before the committee considers that application. For those looking to speak on other agenda items, you will be invited to speak during the public participation agenda item. Please raise your hand to show you wish to speak and I'll invite you to speak. If you are comfortable standing, please do so to ensure you can be heard across the room. You do not need to state your name when you start speaking if you do not wish to, but we ask that you clearly state which agenda item you are speaking about. I ask that participants looking to leave the meeting wait until the end of the agenda item to limit distractions for other participants. Members of the public looking to leave the building will need to be escorted out by a council officer. To all present, please remember to show respect to others in the meeting and avoid interrupting where possible to enable others to follow the meeting. If a councillor feels concerned about any aspect of the meeting or discussion, please clearly state point of order and I will then gesture for you to elaborate. If anyone present is felt to be behaving unacceptably, they can be ejected from the meeting by resolution. Thank you for listening. On behalf of the council, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this council meeting. So, agenda item 1, apologies for absence.
Apologies from Councillor Moore.
Thank you. Agenda item 2, disclosure of interests. To deal with any disclosure by members of any disclosable pecuniary interest and interests other than pecuniary interests as defined under the Seaford Town Council Code of Conduct and Localism Act 2011 in relation to matters on the agenda. One thing I'd like to disclose for all members on the committee that one of the objectors for LW/25/0610 is a colleague and a town councillor. Any other disclosures of interest? No, thank you. Agenda item 3, public participation to deal with any questions or brief representations from members of the public in accordance with relevant legislation and Seaford Town Council policy. In accordance with Town Council policy, members of the public wishing to speak on individual planning applications may do so immediately before each planning application. Any members of the public wishing to discuss anything else? No?
No.
So we move on to agenda item 4, planning applications. Planning applications received a week commencing Monday the 20th of October 2025. SDNP/25/03832/CND Calf Barn, The Street, Bishopstone. It's a variation of condition 2 from the approved plans relating to prior approval. I'll open it. Any members of the public wish to speak on this? No. Open this up to the committee. Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I mean it's been reconfigured internally generally this particular property. So as it's already had planning permission from the national park. So I mean at this stage I'd support it. Thank you.
Does that find a
I'll find a second that, Chair. It's basically, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll be going around the houses if we keep going around, sorry about not pulling the houses, but we'll be going, sorry about that, what I said, I don't know. So I support the application. Second the application.
Councillor Olivia Honeyman.
Yeah, I looked at this as well, and it is where it is, so it's not really affecting anyone or anything like that. So I was quite happy with the changes.
Yeah.
So can I ask, following our previous training, are we going to not object to the application, or are we going to support it with evidence?
Not object, I think.
Yeah.
Not object. It's not object with no evidence.
No objection.
No objection.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a bit of evidence a bit further down which the officers, which you've done, Isabel, but
From previous,
Yeah, thank you, Isabel.
but we'll say no objection then.
So we have a proposer and a second for no objection to this application. All those in favour? Thank you very much. We move on to LW/25/0624 8 Hastings Avenue. Replacement of existing conservatory with single-storey rear extension, removal of existing detached shed and garage and replacement with side porch, enlargement of existing side window. Any members of the public wishing to speak on this? Open it up to the committee.
No.
Councillor Lord.
Oh, thank you. I think thank you, Councillor. I think it's tidied the property up, to be honest with you. It's making it nice and neat, and I quite like it, to be perfectly honest with you, Chair, and I'll support this application.
Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Yes, so no objection, but I'm not backing it up with evidence as such. But it's always a shame to obviously lose a garage, but then these days that particular garage was probably small sized anyway. Probably wouldn't fit most cars these days, and probably use like a shed or something. So, but again, it does tidy it up there. Often, as you say, they some of the conservatives do get a bit tired anyway. So it's like a rebuild. So I'm happy to say no objection for it.
Councillor Lord, are you supporting or no?
I'm supporting.
Or
Chair.
no objection?
I'm no objection. I'm supporting.
No.
Can I both? I support this application. It's tidied the property up and it's made it nice and neat, and I have no objection to whatsoever.
So, anywhere other comments to this? No. So we have a proposer and a seconder for no, not objecting to this application.
Yeah.
All those in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you. Planning applications received in week commencing Monday the 27th of October. SDMP/25/04080/FUL Chinkton Brooks, Eastbourne Road. This is the restoration of the intertidal habitat at Chinkton Brooks through the managed breaching of the tidal flood embankment and associated minor earthworks to improve hydraulic functioning and biodiversity. Can I pass this over to you, Mary?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I have put in front of you all just a note from the National Trust, which just was going to give a bit more sort of information on that. And there was going to be a member of the public coming tonight, but they're not here. But I believe it's the same person where we forwarded round their comments to you that you hopefully saw. That was this afternoon. The objections that were forwarded round were mainly in regard to tourism in the area and visitors, and the impact it would have on the South Hill Barn area. We are in contact with the National Trust, and they are, more than willing to help to support and manage any sort of the visitor situations, and work with the Town Council on that. They're also going to be conducting some data collection of visitors, which they're also happy to share with us, which would be really useful. So there's just some extra bits there. Do let me know if you want to see anything in particular, because it's very technical plans, so if you want to look at anything, just tell me.
Councillor Buchanan?
Yeah, thank you. No, just to let you know, I did try and get onto the website for this, and it wasn't that simple. Didn't want to play.
Okay.
So I'm only really going by what I've previously seen on when it was presented to Gosco. Yes.
And full council.
And full council. Yes.
So it's quite a complicated and in-depth survey which has been carried out, and to be honest with you, I'm not competent to say I disagree with it, because if somebody as clever as the National Trust is going to put this forward and they're going to manage it as well, I really feel that I have no alternative but to support this particular application. I can't see anything fundamentally wrong with it either. And it's an awkward piece of land, as we all know. We've all driven past it about 1,000 times a day now, sorry, 1,000 times a year since we've been here. So I just feel that we should just support the application and let people who are far more competent than I to look after this particular piece of land.
So I was involved as an outside body representative with the Chickton Brooks project.
That's right, yeah, you were.
Back in 2019, and there was some objections from different people, and they looked and kind of changed things around, but there was lots of studies done, lots of things provided, and this wasn't just for this area. They looked further afield with how this could affect Alfriston and then further down the river as well, because anything that happens there is going to have a knock-on effect to a tidal river. So there was a lot of work, a lot of studies and things involved over the years. The one thing, because of obviously the objector that we've had with the email that we've received, is they're concerned about coaches and South Hill Barn and everything. And yes, you can never preempt what might happen. And as Isabel said, the National Trust are quite willing to work with us of how we might solve some of these tourism issues. So South Downs National Park has a few car parks down there. They have the Seven Sisters car park by the river. They have the Friston Forest car parks. I'm just wondering whether Seven Sisters car park could be a coach-only car park. And that would then possibly take out the coaches away from South Hill Barn, because there is a specific coach park in the area. And the reason they go to all these car parks is because there is nowhere else for them. And if that could be a coach-only car park, that could alleviate the issue that we have with South Hill Barn, because there is a nearby coach park. And they can access South Hill Barn from that car park and other areas. So I'd like to suggest that we can put these comments forward to them. Councillor Olivia Honeyman, so you had your hand up.
Yeah, I think your solution, there's obviously got to be tested out and see how many actually coaches should fit in the car park, but it is something that needs to be looked into. I'm going on the same sort of areas Councillor Lord said, that there's so many different reports in this, and I'm working on the theory, actually I'm glad you said this, but that if the National Trust have done all this research and all this work on it, that I'm going to go with what the National Trust have sort of done with the work with. I'm not, obviously there's lots and lots of different opinions on this, but we're not experts on this subject, whereas the National Trust will have had lots of different people in to look into this, and they'll have, as Councillor Borman said, you've been on the committee, the different working parties that have been looking at all this, and this is the solutions, and if, as you said earlier on, this will stop Alfriston flooding so much, then, we're not experts on this, so National Trust, that's what their suggestion is, and they're one of the landowners.
Through you, Chair, can I just come back to what you said about a coach park? I know this sounds a bit radical, but there's a HGV stroke coach park at Bybottle on the Seaford. Could we not insist they use that, because every time we drive past it, it's empty. It's just a thought through you, Chair. It's on the Seaford.
You mean the buckle?
But yes, so the buckle, yeah. The buckle car park, beg your pardon.
You've got the coach park.
There's a coach park.
There's not much room there.
It's not, you'd only put a couple in
Well,
there.
the thing,
So you
well,
wouldn't like
it's
get
just
much
thought,
in there.
every time you drive past it, there's never a soul in there. When people park down there in the summer, the cars were put on there, they got car parking tickets. So it's just a thought. I think that could fit about possibly 5 coaches on there, because they do park quite close. It's just a thought, so. So.
I think Buckle might be too far away.
Councillor
I mean,
Richardson.
thank you, Chair. I have seen Environment Agency vehicles in there because that's for their depot as well. So if there is those instances, they do actually use it for that. So I don't think it's not really.
That's just a thought, that's all.
But it's not. I don't think it's meant to be. It's not meant to be a coach car park. Although I mean,
That's not what we're looking at.
I know. It's miles
Anyway.
away as well. So, and I don't really think we're really looking at big coach car parks unless we're looking wider outside the scope of Seaford and we're looking further afield. I'm not sure what we're really looking at the moment. I think we're relying on the base of that part. We're looking at the parts tonight, aren't we? Or we're talking about the bigger picture.
But the complaint, the objection we've had from the resident said that they object because this will create more tourism, it will create coaches up at Southfield Barn and all the traffic there. And that's what their major objection is to this going through. And I think this would help alleviate any future tourism, possibly from Southfield Barn area with coaches, if, and as the National Trust are willing to work with us, and South Downs National Park are happy for this as well because it's their area as well, that this might be a solution for everyone. So it's for us to put forward, whether it goes, they take it any further or anything, but it could be that we put as a recommendation that they look into that being a coach park, and it might solve a lot of problems. Especially if this area does then get a lot of tourism through the salt marshes.
I mean, as you said, we've already approved it. We've already technically basically approved it anyway. So
We haven't approved it. We said that we were happy for the footpath
to be realigned.
to be
and so on.
realigned on, and because it's our land, that we're happy for that.
Exactly. So we can't really object to it.
Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Chair. I understand this is going to a public consultation. That's in progress, either as we speak or about to begin. Is that something in terms of the how one manages coaches and other tourism? Is that something that Seaford Town Council could actually input into the consultation?
I mean, this is already
This is a planning application.
It is, but there's also a consultation.
The East Sussex County Council, which I literally saw just as we sat down, have also put, there's also an application that's gone through there, and I believe that's to do with, because they have to do the stopping up order on the footpath. So that will also
That's
be
where
out for
that's
consultation.
what the consultation will be for the stopping up of the footpath.
Okay, it's just whether or not it could encompass more of the discussion that we're having at the moment.
And that's where I think we could put this into a planning application, as in we would like them to look at this, and then that also allows officers to then carry on that consultation with the National Trust.
Just another thought, which particular, because there's 2 footpaths, isn't there? There's one on the west and one on the east. Clearly the one on the west is going to close because that's going to be rerouted. The one on the east side, that also looks as if it's going to, difficult to know really.
You need to open up the key bit up there, needs to be
Key.
expanded a bit.
That's what's the yellow blob one?
Because that tells you up there which path.
There's a
That's
public
just
right of
showing
way
the
and then
different
there's
paths.
a South Downs way and the King Charles Coast Path, okay. Anyway, certainly the one on the west side is going to have to move substantially, isn't it? And that's the one we also discussed because that's on our land.
Yeah.
Seaford Town Council to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have any further comments to put to this? So I'd like to propose that we add a comment in about coach parking, possibly at the Seven Sisters. But they can investigate it and let them look at Councillor Buchanan.
Yeah, sorry, one other thing, if I may, Chair. You talked about some pedestrian traffic being monitored by
National Trust.
Trust. Do you know where that is? Are they able to monitor the stuff that goes up from Seaford Beach, up the hill and along past Southhill Barn?
I don't have that information, but I do know that they asked for our Southhill Barn traffic survey, so I would imagine so, because I think they're wanting the whole stretch. But
I kind of heard from another area, somebody else, I don't know why it came up, that it was actually the traffic that's coming down from the north, southwards, as opposed to the pedestrian traffic, as opposed to the pedestrian traffic coming west, eastwards. So it'd be interesting to know which pedestrians are actually counting, because the one west to east could actually help inform us of the Southhill Barn stuff. That's it.
I've made a note to find that out. But
Yeah.
obviously that's not part of the comment, but yeah.
So I've made a proposal. Have we got anyone that would second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. And if there's no further comments, then all those in favour of not objecting to the application but adding the comments about coach parking? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Planning applications received in week commencing Monday the 3rd of November, LW/25/0610, 5 Beach Close. Replacement of existing hip roof with full gable ends, addition of 1 rear double dormer, repositioning of existing front dormer with addition of 1 window, conversion of existing detached garage into habitable space with erection of side extension and alterations to fenestration to the main house and garage. Any members of the public wishing to comment on this? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for letting me speak tonight. I sent you an email, have you all seen that? And I sent you a picture. And that picture is what I view at the moment, so it's just a blank roof. And what they're proposing to do is quite a significant development, because at the moment the roof goes at an angle like that and they want to build it straight up. And in addition to that, they want to develop the whole of the top floor. At the moment it's got a double bedroom up there. And they want to develop the whole of the top floor to include a bathroom. And they want to put this massive double dormer, which is going to dominate my view line, and it's going to invade my privacy completely. That current roof space picture that I sent you is what I see from my kitchen, from my back door, from my dining room, from my lounge, because I live at the back of my house. And I'm going to be overlooked constantly by that window. I mean, not so much the bathroom window because that's obscured. And the other point is, which I haven't sent to you and I'd like you to look at, is has the development upstairs exceeded 50 square cubic metres? I don't know how I find that information out. And if it has, then obviously I'm objecting to that as well. So if you wouldn't mind asking that question. So I think it's quite overbearing. They're asking for the garage converted into a living space with an additional toilet on the side of it, and that's immediately behind my shed. I haven't made any objection to that. And they're asking for the conservatory to be converted into a single-storey extension, and I haven't made any objection to that. I can't see the rest of their house. I can't see into their garden, so they've got complete privacy from me. And this is quite a unique position because whilst 3 doors down has done a similar thing in developing the dormer at the back, those gardens are much longer than mine, and then they have a long garden before their house, and so any invasion of privacy is minimised, whereas in my particular case it's right at the bottom of my garden and then the house is there, so it completely invades my privacy. I think I've covered all the points. Thank you.
Thank you. Open up to the committee. Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Okay, I can see where the objector, I understand, because the back of, I can see why the objector lives on the rear of the house, because that's south facing or to the beach side facing, and I can see why the new build basically is quite, and I can see why they've got their front also faces southwards, so that makes that obviously south facing to the beach and everything, so I can see what's happening there. I can understand what's happening in the back of the particular property concerned. Also, was that home office already there?
No, it's
No.
garage.
It's a garage.
Right, okay, so obviously there's going to be obviously much more activity in the rear of that particular property, the concerning property we've got. And it is an issue with south-facing properties, and even though it's slightly sloped, it's not what I call steep slope area, that going facing southwards. So that's my own view at the moment on it. I'll see what the others are going to say, but I just wanted to open up the conversation at the moment, see what the others are going to say.
Any other comments? Or Councillor Jim Lord?
Thanks, Chair. I think it's a nice development. However, if it's a bedroom, it's not a living room, and a bedroom, albeit you may be able to see into the bedroom. It's also the intimate room, which normally you with it being intimate, you normally keep keep the curtains closed, I should say, one thing or another. If it was a lounge with children in it and televisions and stuff, then yeah, I would agree that it does intrude into a property. But if you realise that a bedroom, you're in it morning and night, and during the day the room's actually empty. So it's not a room which is like a living room overlooking your living room. It's a bedroom, which, albeit it's quite nice actually, albeit it's so it's used in the evening, when the curtains are closed, and in the morning when you go into work, when you open the curtains. It's not a habitable room as such. It's classed like well, basically a habitable room. Ours is a kitchen actually. So I can understand where members of the public are coming from with regards to overlooking, but without pressing the point, it's not an obstruction of a view, which may carry some weight. It's an actual room, which is a bedroom, and to me, it's a bedroom. It's a lounge. It's not a lounge. It's not a kitchen. The kitchen's slightly different, and we've not had anything to say. It's an obstruction of a view. It tidies the property up. Well, I'm not comfortable. I was going about this. It's a room in the back garden, but that's what it is. It's basically a garage being made into an office, which I think the majority of properties now do that because people are working from home. So, in actual fact, I'm quite open about this one.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Chair. Just, I think to be clear, on the rear view elevation, which is the one that I think would be viewed from the concerned property, is actually a bathroom and a toilet. So those rooms would presumably have misty out windows or something. I
That's
imagine.
not correct.
I think it's a bedroom and a bathroom.
Oh, I beg your pardon. What was I looking at then? Yes, I stand corrected. One of those is indeed bedroom.
Councillor Olivia Honeyman.
Yeah, I admit that turning the garage into a home office, when I saw the toilet was going there as well, I was concerned, because I think we might need to do one of our lockdown options that we do, that we lock it down, that it is purely for a home office. It cannot suddenly be turned into an Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do need to lock that down. Whatever way is decided, we need to make sure that it stays as a home office.
Good point.
Thank you. I kind of agree with you, Councillor Lord. Rear dormers, usually, the first thing I think is look at the size. This isn't the full roof, it's a lot lower than the roof height, which would have gone against our neighbourhood plan. If you look at the windows, they could have put more windows in that to make it more balanced, but they've kept the windows that would be overlooking quite to a minimum. One is a bathroom, so would be frosted. The other isn't a hugest of windows, and as Councillor Lord said, this isn't a main living space where people would be looking out of the window. It is a bedroom, so I can't see anything against that rear dormer. I do agree with you, Councillor Hunman, that when you look at a bar or a toilet and things suddenly into a garage and conversions, and yes, what might that actually bring? And yes, we need to put in a condition that we keep that as a home office and not them to be an additional space.
And another point that was mentioned was that there's a metre drop difference in height. Or did I imagine that? I think it says something about that's the problem with there's the difference in height in the levels with the property. Because of, and then that's why there's going to be that's why the issue about the views was raised, unless I've missed that, but I think that was on the email that we had sent round to us.
I haven't raised any issues about views.
Oh, sorry.
My issue is purely.
But I thought there was something about a metre, there's a difference.
No, they're saying it doesn't affect me.
Sorry, I can't allow you to speak any further. Sorry, Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Thank you again, Chair. Yes, it's an interesting one. I mean, is it more than 50% from the original bill, which is obviously, when you look at the floor area, in addition to what was there before compared to now, I think the objective did mention some sort of extra meterage, but I don't know if anyone's done the measurements. Is it 50% more?
I'm looking at what the increase is. There is nowhere.
Not as much 50.
Nowhere.
Might be 30 odd sort of thing.
Yeah, because when you start to raise the roof a little bit, you get a few, and that, but it's not as much as 50% or.
I mean, it does look very blocky at the front, but then that's where the south-facing bit is. That's for them. That's where the seafront is for them, isn't it?
So they've already got that at the front.
They've already got it anyway. So
they've already got it. They're just moving it slightly.
I know, and I mean, and as you generally do live in the more dominant area where you've got the daylight. That's what you'd expect, especially living along when you're relatively close to seafront area. So that is.
Councillor Buchanan.
I was just going to comment on the comment on the metre. I think the point was that this is a metre lower than the house, the land behind it. I think that was the comment about the metre.
Yeah, I knew there was something about I knew there was something about difference in height.
It's not that this is a metre higher.
So all it's doing is moving the outsides out of the roof.
I think it's the land's just on slope.
It's off a pitch to a gable, basically.
So formulating a.
I mean, I don't. So one other thing. I mean, I don't like the way on the proposal the what do you call that shape? Help me out. On the left hand side, that bit. That is still lower than the top. I mean, can we not lower the roof slightly? That's what I was trying to say.
Lower the roof?
Well, on the flat bit further back.
The flat bit, that's not changing.
That's not changing.
That's the roof height of the house.
That's what you got now.
So all.
That's not true. It's just yeah.
Essentially, it's one for
They're just
gable.
squaring it out, right? They're not doing anything else to anything
It's going-
apart
it's
from
go-
squaring their
It's
roof
going, it's
out.
going from a pitch to a full gable roof,
Yeah.
essentially.
So there's no heights changing on any of it.
No, it's just straightening it up.
So can I propose we support this application because it is what it is.
With the condition
Yes.
on for the home office.
Well, I call it, it's going to be a granny flat, but I agree it's an office, but basically essentially, yeah.
It's got to be subservient, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. All the usual stuff.
Does that find a seconder?
Can I just check, is that supporting or no objection?
Oh,
No, we're supporting the application
Supporting.
with the condition that the home office remains a home office, subservient and not an Airbnb or
yeah.
living space.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yep,
Does that find
absolutely.
a seconder? I'm quite happy to second that. Do we have any other comments to add to the support for this
No,
application?
Because we can only go by what we're, the planning guidelines that
So-
we're given,
It's what was
And
there.
what's in our neighbourhood plans?
what's in the
It's
neighbourhood plan, and the fact we had the training last week, which says we have to put what building and everything in, so we can only go by what
What's in
No.
front of you?
the neighbourhood plan.
Our neighbourhood plan says that this is acceptable.
Yeah.
Because the height level's already at that. That's why I asked that question. Is it any higher? It says identical, so it's not just going to extended slightly.
So all those in favour of supporting this application with the additions of
The
Caveat of the.
Yeah.
caveat of
with
yeah,
the
office,
home
yeah.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's unanimous.
Aye.
We move on to LW/25/0639, 60 Belgrave Crescent. Erection of a two-storey front and single-storey side extension and addition of front porch. And it's up to committee for comment. Councillor Richard Honeyman.
Properties in Belgrave Crescent and surrounding loads of relatively large plot bungalows and houses as well. The mixture isn't there. So that wraparound, I'm quite happy to support it.
Any further comments? I'll say I looked at this and as soon as you read front extension you go, oh, neighbourhood plan, front extension, and then when you looked at what they already have, all they're doing is like an infill of the whole
Basically,
building,
yeah.
and so yes, I
Sure, I would do. I thought, oh, here we go again. And so, oh, sure, there's nothing wrong with it.
Look at it on Street View.
I know.
Just something.
it'll make it quite
Yeah.
look quite nice. So yes,
I'll second.
no objections.
No.
Yeah, no objections. That's it. I mean, there's so large plots generally around there.
Yeah.
So
But as soon as you see front, oh
As soon as you
no.
see front extension, you just go, oh no, neighbourhood plan, where we go?
Grown.
Yeah, no, I did. I thought, oh no, fuck, I don't believe it. I know.
Ones.
Yeah. It's just,
don't grow
it's
so
just
much.
when you said, no, front, you just say it, don't you, you know. And then, oh, it's not bad, it's a nice job, yes, so.
So we have a proposal and a seconder for no objection to this planning application. All those in favour?
Yep.
That's unanimous, thank you.
There's no trees,
Yeah.
what am I going to do?
It's the wrong time of year.
You're redundant.
This is when you should be sorting them all out this time of year. Oh,
So
God.
we move on to agenda item
I'm
5,
completely depressed now. Yeah, go on.
update report. The recommendations is to note the report,
Yep.
decisions on planning applications and updates on highway matters. Do we have any comments on it?
Nothing here.
They were all approvals with no objections from us, so all in favour of noting that report? Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of our meeting at 19:40. Thank you very much.